You know that smell? That specific mix of vanilla air freshener and just pure, unadulterated cowardice. That's the smell of this conference room. And sitting across a ridiculously expensive glass table is a CEO, practicing that empty smile he probably saw in a movie. He's about to sign his company's death warrant. He just has absolutely no idea.
And there it is, the line. Dropped with this smug, tech bro calm that people get right before they make a mistake that's going to cost millions. He thinks he's just cleaning house, trimming the fat. But those 6 little words, they just armed a time bomb.
So who is this so-called non-essential employee? Well, she's not some dramatic, screaming victim. She's the quiet one, the professional who shows up on time, does her job perfectly, and never causes a fuss. But here's the thing. She knows a secret, a fundamental truth about the company's very foundation that the CEO, in his infinite wisdom, completely missed. And right here, this is the whole problem in a nutshell. The CEO looks at her and sees dead weight, a line on a spreadsheet that some consultant told him to cut. But the reality? She is the company's legal ability to even exist in their industry. She's not just a part of the building, folks. She's the soil the whole thing is built on. She is the signature.
This is what's going through her head. It's not rage. It's not even about betrayal, really. It's just clarity. That perfect, chilling moment where you see the whole board and you realize the other player just gleefully marched their own king into checkmate.
So what does she do? Does she sabotage the servers? Steal all the good pens? Nope. Her revenge is an act of perfect, methodical, by-the-book compliance. The very thing they paid her to do and the very thing they just fired her for. Oh, the irony. She signs the paperwork, gives a polite nod to the HR rep who can't even look her in the eye, and walks out. And then, from her own laptop, before her access is cut, she performs one last, legally required duty. An act of pure professionalism that is about to bring the whole house down. Okay, so to really get the stakes here, you have to understand this role. An FSO, a Facility Security Officer, isn't just some middle manager. They are the one person, the single human being, whose name and federal clearance allows the entire company to work on classified government contracts. They're the person the government holds responsible. If you don't have an FSO, you don't have those contracts. It is literally that simple.
And this is the weapon. Not a virus, not a leak, but a form. A boring old PDF. She sends a completely standard termination update, just like the protocol says, to the right federal agencies. She attaches the official paperwork, the SF-328, closes her laptop, and that's it. She just followed the rules. The game is afoot. So while the company is high-fiving and deactivating her key card, this is the email that pings into her personal inbox. A quiet, gray, automated reply from a Department of Defense address. Just 7 words. But as the story goes, those 7 words snapped like a piano wire. The system has been alerted. The dominoes are starting to fall. Meanwhile, back at the office, the clueless panic is just beginning to bubble up. The executives think they've just had a productive afternoon. They have no earthly idea they just cut their own parachute cords. You can almost feel the desperation just from these timestamps, right? They're frantically trying to lock the barn door after the horse has already left the derby and retired to a nice farm. They update security to treat her as a threat, which is just hilarious because she spent the last decade protecting them from actual threats. So who did they get to fill her supposedly non-essential shoes? Everybody, meet Tyler. Tyler is a compliance enthusiast. He has a TEDx talk on leadership, a baby blue blazer, and, most importantly, 0 security clearances. He is the perfect symbol of the company's new vision. All buzzwords, 0 substance. And there it is. Tyler's first message in the company-wide Slack channel. You can just feel the secondhand embarrassment through the screen, can't you? This guy thinks he's going to spice things up. Buddy, awesome is not a word the Department of Defense tends to use during a federal audit.
So now, the system starts to react. And it's not loud at first. It's just a series of quiet digital errors, a slow creeping paralysis. See, the company hasn't just lost a person, it's lost its very legitimacy. And gravity is about to do its thing.
And here's the first major body blow. A single word in a sans serif font and an automated email from a contracting office. Suspended. A multi-million-dollar project, poof, put on an indefinite program hold. No calls, no meetings, just a full, brutal stop.
And then the cascade begins. Emails to their government contacts start bouncing. Purchase orders get stuck in limbo. Payments for their cleared engineers are suddenly frozen because the account code is now invalid. The government doesn't argue, it just goes silent. The company is now a ghost that happens to hold classified secrets, and that's a problem.
The moment of truth doesn't come with flashing lights. It comes with two agents in unremarkable suits walking into the lobby with a kind of calm purpose that just sucks all the air out of a room. All that open floor plan chatter, yeah, it goes dead silent. And they ask this devastatingly simple question. It's not an accusation. It's just a matter-of-fact procedural question. But it cuts right through all the corporate jargon and lays the CEO's catastrophic mistake completely bare for everyone to see.
And that's it. That's the sound of the penny finally dropping for the CEO. He gets it. This isn't a slap on the wrist. It's not a policy violation. It means that every single piece of classified work they've done since she walked out the door has been fundamentally illegal.
So what is the final price tag for calling the wrong person non-essential? Well, the collapse is total, and it happens with the cold, quiet finality of federal paperwork.
This table just lays out the carnage perfectly. The CEO, gone, pursuing other opportunities, of course. The company, gutted, under a painful federal audit with its key contracts voided. And our protagonist? Well, since her security clearance was tied to her, not the company, it remained active. She was scooped up by a competitor almost immediately.
And this is the final verdict coming from the CFO. It wasn't just her job, you see. It was their charter, their actual license to do business. And now they have to start over, completely from scratch. And really, that's the heart of it all. She didn't leak anything. She didn't sabotage anything. She did her job to the very end, filed the correct form, and simply stepped aside. The company didn't get destroyed by an angry employee. It simply imploded under the weight of its own ignorance.
And that's the question we're left with, isn't it? It's a pretty good reminder to look around at the quiet, competent people, the ones some might call the background noise, because sometimes they're not just a cog in the machine. Sometimes they're the only thing keeping the whole machine from flying apart.